All right, welcome back to the Live Worthy podcast. I'm your host, Erin Arruda, and joining me today is my oldest daughter, Ella.
Yay!
Yay! Welcome.
I'm so excited to be here.
You were here when we recorded the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
You've been here since the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a holy takeover today because you had some questions you wanted to ask me, and I thought it would be wonderful for your voice to be heard as well, because that's what we're here to do. So we're going to let you kind of come in, but first, I can't let you start without just sharing and like, you know, getting a little bit excited over having my firstborn daughter
Yay!
On the podcast. So what I love about you, Ella, is that you have this way of seeing the world with you see details. Like I remember you as a little kid we would go on walks and it was very inefficient because you would just like stop and notice like all of the ants and sit there for a long time just watching them. You've always been a noticer of creation and God's world, and all of the little details. So I just really value that about your personality.
Thank you. I still stop during walks to watch the ants.
Yes,
Yep.
you do. I still admire that about you.
Thank you.
Yeah, unless we're trying to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Then it is really not efficient at all.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to see the world through your eyes. So I'm excited about the questions you have. So Here comes the holy takeover. So how would you intro this podcast if you were doing it?
So, I just wanted to start off with some like basic get to know you questions because a lot of people may know you as the president of Worthy or maybe even as their mentor, but I know you and your friends who are closest to you know you not only as like the president of Worthy or as a pastor, but also as just a woman of God and a mom and a friend. And so I just wanted to ask some questions that would be considered sort of basic but important to getting to know you as a friend. So my first question is, what's your favorite food currently?
Currently, yeah. I think this was, it's definitely like a good charcuterie board. Yeah. And we did this the other day and I was like, why is it that charcuterie always makes me think of vacation? And I think because that's like what we do. First vacation night, we just get all the cheese and crackers.
The prosciutto.
And prosciutto, yeah.
Cucumbers.
Yeah,
So
veggies,
good.
fruit. So that, I think anytime we have it, I'm like, oh, we're on vacation.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah. Kind of leading on to that, where is your favorite place to be? So literally, yes, literally not like spiritually, but it could be like the beach, the mountains, if you love being at, I don't know, just like Target. I don't know. I know you don't really, but for example.
I love that. For example, yeah. So I think any place with you guys, with my family, is my favorite. So specifically, though, we just got back from Africa not too long ago, and that was the first time we all went as a family on a missions trip. And so that was, for me, that was like heaven. It was heaven to experience that with you guys, a place that I already love so much. And I know you've been there. You had been there once before, so you loved it. So to see everybody else experience it was just, probably my favorite place. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love Africa. So to all be able to enjoy it as a family was truly so special. My next question is, what worship song is currently your favorite, or just on replay, or a worship song that really moves you? Anything along those lines would be awesome.
That's a good question. Somebody introduced me to this song. I hadn't heard it on Upper Room's new album, newer album, I think. But it's called Slow Down.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, I've been playing that on, like, repeat. I'm like, listen to this song. And that one has captured my attention just because the lyric is very simple. It's like, why are you rushing? Like, why are you in a hurry? You weren't made to sprint. So it was just like, it was a pilgrimage. Yeah. So I think like, I I need to remember, like, who am I racing? No one. I'm in a race myself, and I just want to finish. So I don't want to come in early if I don't have to,
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
that's
love that.
a good one.
Yes. And then my last question is, what is your favorite Bible verse currently?
So, my story. And so after everything happened, and I was learning to follow Jesus, and to have relationship with him, I was sort of in this story of David, and the prophet Nathan came after he had, had that issue with Bathsheba. And so Nathan speaks over him and says, the Lord's going to redeem you. And David is so confronted by the grace of God in that moment that he just cries out, who am I, O sovereign Lord, and what is my family? That you would speak these things over me. But not only that, you have spoken over our future. So I have the beginning of that verse tattooed on my arm. It's from 2 Samuel 7. And that's such a precious verse to me, because it reminded me that God is going to redeem everything that I had. He didn't have to do that, but you're a testimony. Like, your life is a testimony of God's grace. And so I look at that, I'm like, I don't deserve you or all that the Lord has given me, but he has saw fit to do that. And that is like, who am I that I could, keeps me humble.
I love that verse. And I was thinking humility when you first mentioned it, and just to have that always as like tattooed on your arm to remind your heart to like stay in that place is so important and so cool. So next, I kind of wanted to switch from very basic to a little bit more deep, and I just wanted to get the story behind Worthy. So tell me about how Worthy began.
So we had a Ministers Connection, like a group of women that gather in the Tampa area. And we were gathering one Wednesday morning, and this pastor was in talking about revival. And I think we've had probably 2 or 3 male pastors speak like the whole time we've been gathering.
Oh, wow.
But he was there, and he was a local pastor, and it was right around the time of like what was happening at Asbury and all that. So there was just revival was in the air, right? So as he's speaking, the Lord, it was like I was moved from this space that I'm sitting in listening, and I saw the room expanding. And the Lord was like, what I'm doing here among this small group of women ministers, I want to do for the whole region. Like, I want my daughters to know who I am, and that I'm coming for them, and that revival includes them, and all of these things. And I was like, I've probably had a handful of those times in my life that was so significant, and I knew the Lord was speaking, and I needed to obey. We've talked about that, right? Like, the Shema, the hearing word is not just hearing, it is to hear is to obey. You can't have one without the other. So this was a hearing and a call to be obedient to what the Lord was saying. So I went to my mentors right away at the end of that, and I was like, what do I do with this word? I'm like confronted with this need to do something. And they're like, whatever you need. They were just such great mentors. And so the Lord said, I'm going to establish the vision within 3 years. And I want you to start by putting on a conference in July. I mean, it was so direct.
Wow.
And this was February. And I was like, oh, that's not enough months to do anything. But I don't know how, but it all came together within those 5 months, 4 months.
Wow.
And so we're about to approach our 3rd conference. And
Yay.
I know.
That's so exciting.
It's so exciting.
Wow.
Yeah. And then February will mark the 3rd year. So I think I've just watched the Lord establish his plans and how he wants it to move. And there's been a couple of times where we would be on retreat, or our team would be ready to organize something, and I would just feel like the Lord saying, be very careful how you approach this. Be very careful here, because you really are establishing something. So we just get on our knees and ask him what he wanted to do. And I've just been blown away by what he says, by just following him. Yeah.
Yeah. I love, something I admire about you is your ability to discern what the Lord wants. You know, that's so, I wish I'm still learning how to do that in the way that you do. And that's just so important, to be able to do ministry and hear what God is saying and obey, like you were talking about, that word, hear and obey. And that's crazy. I didn't realize that it was like only in like a few months that Worthy just was put together.
Yeah.
Just, wow.
I'm learning. I think I'm learning too. And I think maybe that's part of the process of learning. Really, we learn by doing.
Yeah.
So, or at least I do. So I think the Lord, like, kind of, when you're small as a child, the impact of a fall is very minimal compared to when you're older and you fall. It's not good. So I think the Lord kind of hems us in to make sure, like, hey, you might fall a little bit. You may stumble. You may make a mistake as you go, but I'm going to really wrap my arms around you and be nearest to you now, so that if you make a mistake, my voice is very quick to draw near to you and wrap you in my arms and, get you back into walking again or running again or whatever, not sitting down and saying, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm learning too.
Wow. So you talked about how Worthy Conference is coming up this July, which is only in about, I think, a month.
Yeah.
It's coming up. And so a question that I had is, what are you most excited for this Worthy Conference, this upcoming Worthy Conference?
So I would say I'm most excited to watch the younger generation come. I think right now the statistic is the Barna research, the most recent research says that it's the women that are my age or older that have become the most stagnant in their faith in the last 5 years. And so I think we've forgotten that there is a call to inspire and disciple and encourage the next generation. So having the next generation come gives us a privilege and a responsibility and a job to do that doesn't end. It's not over yet. My job to you, even though you're nearly an adult, is not, it doesn't end when you hit 18. It's like my job increases because now you're navigating a world without all of my attention. And now it's like, even more so do I need to pray for you. Even more so do I need to help keep relationship with you so that you seek the wisdom of God that I've learned. And so I think, to me, that positions me differently as a mom and as a friend and as a pastor, as a mentor, as a disciple maker. So I'm excited about that connection. I think for younger people who are waiting for spiritual moms to help them learn how to discern the voice of God, they're there. And then the moms that are there going, I have all this time and I don't know who to spend it on. I don't have anybody to teach anymore. Now they're there, and we get to watch them build a relationship together and grow in the Lord. Wow.
I love that. That part of, like, legacy.
Yeah.
That's just, I've heard that in Worthy's core values and in their mission, like, legacy is also an important part, as much as seeing women come to know that they're worthy. It's also that part of, like, carrying that on, not just letting it die out, like giving it to the next generation and teaching them too. And so along that topic of, like, Gen Z coming to Worthy, another question that I had is, why does Gen Z, which is my generation, why would we need to come to Worthy? Like, what does Worthy offer us?
Yeah, gosh. Well, I love your question, and I would say maybe even more than what Worthy offers you is what you offer Worthy. Like, there is something so special that God is doing in Gen Z right now that would be missed if you weren't there. And we want the fire that God is bringing down to that generation, because he comes back not just for one generation, he comes back for all generations.
Yeah.
So a Gen Z revival, a millennial revival means also a Gen X and a boomer revival. It means if he's doing it in the women, he's also doing it in the men. He's not, but it's just like, who's catching fire first and how is that spreading? So if the Lord has sought to release his revival on Gen Z, which I believe he has, then it's going to begin to swiftly move, and we want to be a part of what God is doing there. But we also know that that revival that comes and stirs and awakens, it also needs to mature. So how do you keep from putting that fire out? How do you keep that the embers moving? How do you keep the fire fueled and oxygen getting to it and all the things that makes it grow? And so I think knowing who we are in Christ, rooting our identity there, has been key for me. And if I can help another daughter of God get there, I want to do that. I want to spend my days and nights doing that. So that's what I think really what we're rooted in, is to make sure that every daughter is living worthy of her calling and pursuing her assignment wherever it is. And we say, pursuing your assignment in marriage, motherhood, ministry, marketplace. But for Gen Z, a lot of them may not be married yet. And that's okay, because even when I got married, the Lord was like, I am your first husband. But, even though this is now your second husband, like, I'm your first husband. And if I'm not your first husband, then this marriage is not going to work. And even in motherhood, whether you're waiting to be a mom, and you're meant to be a spiritual mom to others, because even at your age, right, there's somebody behind you. There's somebody who's younger than you that you've walked through something that they haven't walked through yet. So there's a motherhood aspect to that in disciple making that is key. And we want to help women walk in those things. So that's what I'm really excited to have Gen Z there for what they're bringing. Sometimes we don't enter a room thinking, what am I bringing here with just my presence? Right? What do you think you're bringing to Worthy when you come?
Well, I think it would be different across the board for Gen Z, but of course there's that aspect of a lot of, I need to think about this for a second.
Yeah.
Probably, well, first of all, we come from a background where a lot of the people who will be in Generation Z are going to school still.
Yeah.
So there's different problems in schools that we see that you may not see now because you're not in school, although you did go to school, like the use of phones in school is one. The creation versus evolution debate being taught in school. There's all of these different issues in school that we may see and understand more, and coming to Worthy and realizing that we are worthy to prepare us and to encourage us to deal with these problems that you're not in a place, you're not positioned to deal with them. That's important, because then suddenly we're just not, like, the younger generation isn't just mobilized to be mothers. Like, we're also mobilized as we are now to go and be, to go and advance the kingdom in our schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
That becomes your ministry.
Yeah.
Or the marketplace where you work, at Starbucks or wherever you work. Yeah, exactly. I love that, because we all need that encouragement to do what God has called us to do right now. Yeah. I thank you for sharing that. I love what you said too about that evolution versus creation, because that's near and dear to your heart, what you've studied and your deep love for nature and God's created kingdom. So so that speaks directly to that piece. Yeah.
Yeah. I would also say, just as a follow-up question, I know that there is a age, there's like an age, I wouldn't say restriction, but there's an age limit to when you're allowed to, or limit. These all sound like bad words, but like
Yeah, a boundary.
Yeah, a boundary coming to Worthy. So could you tell us what that boundary is and why you set this boundary for Worthy? Because you might be hearing me talk and be like, oh, I want to come, but I'm not old enough yet. Like they might, like, you know, you might be wondering why this is.
That's a good question. It is recommended 16 and up, mostly because I think sometimes twofold for moms. Sometimes we hide behind our kids. We're afraid to be vulnerable in front of them. Usually when our kids turn about 16, they start to think about their own faith and what their own life and their own personal relationship with God means. So they're not looking to their mom or dad to now be their faith purveyor, right? They're like, I need to own it for myself. So that allows a mom to be free to also look at her relationship with the Lord, because sometimes we make our kids gods, actually, and hide behind them. But it also there's that same line for that generation of 16 that now you're able to sit through a message. You're able to think forward a little bit more.
That's true.
So just that age of maturity, not for everybody, but you were very mature even at a very young age. But you know, it's not for everybody, but it's not hard and fast rule, I guess, but it's just it's a recommendation. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess that would be both then. The reasons for that would be maturity and for the moms.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that they're able to come and experience it without having to like using their kids as like a block.
Yeah. Shield. We'll use, and it's easy to do that as a mom. Like it's easy to put all of my effort and all of my identity in you. And to think, gosh, this is the thing I was born to do, which is true. And so now I'm going to focus completely and entirely on you. And man, does that set you up for failure? Because now I've put all this pressure on you as a daughter to be the owner of my identity. So that means your failure doesn't just mean your failure. It means my failure too. And now you're holding the weight of shame of now I've disappointed my mom. Now she's broken because my whole identity is wrapped in hers. And I didn't even ask for this, but now I'm like so connected to this that I don't know how to get out of from under this like pressure. So with parenting, it becomes easier for moms to wrap their identity up in their children. And so then they miss like their own identity in Christ, and they miss what the plans and purposes and assignments that God has for them, marriage, marketplace, and ministry. So they focus entirely on motherhood. And so then the children leave, and then they feel so broken because they have their whole identity has been consumed by this child that's now left the house. And so we're on our way there, right?
Yep.
Like you're stepping into that phase, but you know, we've got a good relationship formed, and certainly we don't know what's on the other side. I know I'll grieve when you go. So I'm not saying that, but I know it will be hard to not have you there every day, but it is like this, also knowing that I have the rest of my life with you, and you, and the rest of your life with you. So, well, not the rest of your life, I guess.
Not the rest of my life.
No, yeah.
Maybe.
Just the rest of my life.
Well.
Yeah. You live much, much longer than me, please. So that's what I think is important for moms to come and learn who God says they are, not just as a mom and not just with this kid, but, and for the kids to know who they are from the beginning. So that as the Lord adds to these things in their life, they can hold them all with God at the center. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So my final question is, what is one part of God's creation that you love to see?
Oh my goodness. That is a great question. So I would say you have picked up on this, like literally yesterday, you picked up on this from, I love going to the beach. We love going there as a family, and you know, your dad will fish and we'll just kind of enjoy the water. And it's just like, I forget about every single thing when I'm out there, but the Lord has shown me through his creation, like all these hearts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I just love that. So you found, like a rock in the ocean yesterday.
Man, I could have brought it.
Yeah.
I could have brought it and been like, look at this cool rock I found. It was like perfect. Perfect heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that you found it under the water, right? When you were, so I love that he showed that to you too. Cause it's like, I see them everywhere in trees and in leaves and in like soup. One time I made a soup and there was a heart.
Wow.
And then one time when I was in Africa, we were flying and one of the clouds made the shape of a heart. And I took a picture of it and it happened twice in the same day.
Wow. That's
2 different
crazy.
clouds. Anyway, so yeah, I love seeing anything that he's created because it just speaks of him. But what about you?
Hearts. I don't know. I really love everything, but just specifically the detail that he works into all of his creation. I love looking close at, like you said earlier, I love looking close at the details and just seeing the ways that he's provided that you may not see at first glance, but then it's like, look at the way that he made this and thought of this. Like, we probably wouldn't have thought of this. So I love that.
It's so detailed and deep and layered. Yeah. I know you did really well with that in your biology class, like hearing everything that you would discover. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know these terms, but I'm so interested. Yeah, I love that about you too. You really notice those details. We ended where we started. So thank you for joining me and having a holy takeover, Ella. It was really holy to have you in that
I loved
seat. Yeah, you're good at it.
Hot seat.
Yeah. I want to just make sure that before we go, we invite the Gen Z group and the millennials to come to Worthy. So what would your invitation be? And then I'm going to copy it.
Okay. My invitation would just be to simply come. Like, you're not going to be doing anything else this summer probably that would be better than this. Like, you come and feel encouraged and feel like encouragement is one of the main things that I always get from it. See the women of Tampa Bay united and come make new friends. Like, I'll be there if you want a new friend. And there's a boutique, so that's also fun. There's just so many different things that are offered there, so many different expressions of worship and of messages being told in different ways that there's really something there for everyone. Yeah.
I echo that.
Invite you to come.
I love the way you said it. So I will say yes and amen. Thanks for joining me.
Yay. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us on the Live Worthy podcast. We can't wait to see you next time.